right, so I got this E36 about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago maybe, and it wasn't my original choice. I was actually bidding on some auction cars, a drift car, and was bidding on a G35 as a drift car, and actually lost that bid through the brokerage. I was originally looking for a drift car, not necessarily an E36, was just really looking for whatever I could find, and was bidding on a G35 at the time from the auctions when I was already wrecked, and actually lost the bid, and ended up stumbling across this from the company I was trying to buy through. So this thing, it had minimal damage on it. The interior was the cleanest E36 interior I've ever seen, and everything worked on it. Like AC worked, power steering, heat, all the electronics, the sunroof. The interior's like stain free, and it's gray, which is pretty hard to find. No check engine lights, nothing. It just had a slight oil leak and a slight power steering leak, and blown shocks, but they weren't even, they were on the way out, I would say. They weren't blown. But the company was selling it for a good deal for the damage that it had, and I was actually the second owner of the vehicle, excluding the insurance company. So the original owner, I'm assuming, was an older gentleman, based off the physical map I found in the back seat, and the DVD or CD player had an old George Michael CD in it. And it was so well kept for a BMW 36, so I just assumed, or I'm still assuming, it was owned by an older gentleman. So it seemed like a good deal at the time. Cut to, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, dropped it off at one of my buddy's shops who does powder coat and body work, because the car did have some rear end damage to the trunk. The rear quarter had a slight bit of damage. The frame was slightly pushed in, not much, and then the inner wheel well on the driver's side was damaged. But yeah, it's been about 4 months getting fixed. Finally got it fixed, got all the paperwork I needed submitted to the DMV, and come to find out it's a 6-week wait to get the car inspected. So that was a bummer. I've been waiting for like 6 months since I bought this car, you know, to be able to drive it around, enjoy it. Finally, the inspection day comes. I take the car, get it inspected, everything passes flying colors. I finally get it registered. So 8 months maybe since I purchased the car. I was finally able to drive the car. I had already purchased the Mustang at the time and knew the Mustang was going to be the drift car, and this was no longer planned to be a drift car, at least yet. Just making it daily and enjoy it. I spent all that time getting it fixed, getting it registered, and once I finally got to drive it, I really fell in love with the car. It was still winter time when I was first finally getting to drive it, and the heater wasn't working. The coolant temp gauge wouldn't go up to a normal operating temperature, heater wouldn't work, and started thinking probably the thermostat's stuck open. It's an older car. Sure enough, I replaced the thermostat and fixed those issues. Car warms up to operating temperature, heater works again. Fast forward another few months after fixing the thermostat, put maybe 5,000 miles on it since then, and cranked it up one day to go to work. I just see a massive oil puddle in the driveway with just a drip line straight out following the car. The oil filter housing gasket on the side of the block was just leaking oil. Super cheap part, super simple fix. Fixed that, no oil leak at all. That was the only oil leak on the car that was dripping. After the oil leak, it was another few months before I just decided to look into doing basic maintenance. I mean, the thing's been driving great with 0 issues. Cranks up every time. AC works, just does what it's supposed to. I end up doing spark plugs, air filter, cabin filter, just basic maintenance parts. When I was doing the oil filter gasket, I had to remove the power steering pump. When I did that, I was able to actually physically move the engine in the engine bay, trying to break that bolt loose. Go to do the motor mounts. I look at the passenger side, start at the passenger side, motor mount's completely disconnected, ripped in half. Kind of expected it. I go to look at the driver's side, that is also completely ripped in half. And the motor's just kind of sitting in the engine bay on hopes and dreams, really. So thankfully, I had chose to do it before the engine literally fell out of the car. As far as a 25-year-old car, I really can't complain. You know, those are standard things you would expect to replace or have issues with. Honestly, a great car. Now, for what I have upgraded on the car, in form of like modifying, I did replace the struts. They didn't really need to be replaced, but it was super soft, super squishy suspension. Just felt old and crappy. So I ended up replacing with BC Racing coilovers, and at the same time I did wheels and tires. Just because the stock tires, or the tires that were on it, were just in bad shape. And I wanted to make it look nice, you know? I don't want to roll around in a stock old car. I want a nice old car. Like, it's quiet. I don't want to do the exhaust. I don't want it loud and obnoxious. I probably will replace the radio at some point because it is a older CD player. I don't think the radio plug's connected because I don't pick up any signal from FM stations. Long term, I just want to keep it. And it's a fairly rarer chassis, which I like a lot. And I do want to make it something eventually. Maybe a drift car, maybe a track car. I do see some of these Instagram builds, Instagram hashtags I follow, with people wide bodying them and doing all this cool stuff to them, motor swaps. The bigger inline 6 BMW, the M52, drops right in. So that's stuff down the road that I do want to do and make this thing a really cool car. But for now, I think I'm happy with it. It's just a reliable car. If you can find a fairly low mileage E36 that is working and has been taken care of, it's a great car. It's super easy to work on. Parts are cheap. Like this car is 10 times easier to work on than my new Mustang. Everything's simple. It's not overly complicated. Granted, I don't have any electrical issues, which is a whole nother story, but mechanical, like, this thing is simple. It's the easiest car I've ever worked on. Just because parts are cheap, modifying is cheap. This thing with the 4-cylinder gets great gas mileage. It gets like 28 miles per gallon. It's I think it's the M44 engine is known to be the indestructible engine from what I've seen. And I mean, it's holding true. Like, it's got 160,000 miles on it. I drive it hard. I redline it all the time, and it just takes it. It doesn't care. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you decide to either buy an E36 or don't. They're awesome cars. I love mine. Definitely the best purchase I've made with a car in a long time. So if you liked the video, please go subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks, guys.